Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, live back at it. You already know what time is it. It's the Windy City Savage News. Oh yeah, the cream of the crops have arrived. Co-host, introduce yourself.
Y'all know me, man. I'm pointing to myself. It's me, the pointer man SG3. How y'all doing tonight? Let's go
And
ahead and kick it
with
off.
that, you already know. Let's get into the news. Let's get into the Raw review, and we open up Raw with the Usos themselves getting away into the arena
3 seconds when it stops. Thank God.
for a couple of seconds, obviously, and then eventually we had the voice of Paul Heyman cutting him off. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was the camera was fucking something that didn't. Anyway, whatever.
It's because of two people.
Yeah, I think it is really. So regardless, yeah, they were yeeting their way into the ring. They got in there. They didn't get in there because right away I thought it was the ring announcer, but it was Paul Heyman. Once he said it twice again, I'm like, what does this guy want? So right away we got the Vision coming in. We got the people basically booing Paul Heyman until Logan Paul says, "Hey, don't boo this man. This anything he does, gold turns into gold, just like me. Me and my apparently sold himself a trading card of Pikachu Illustrator for about $16 million.
Dead
Lucky
though.
bastard. Regardless,
16.5 to be exact.
yeah, piece of shit. Anyways, yeah. So regardless, he basically shut down the crowd. And if you notice one thing, he's taking more leadership role on the Vision itself.
Yes.
So, point is this: do you find it interesting that now he's more of the leader of the Vision now that Braun Breaker's out, Seth Rollins out, and it doesn't look like anybody else is going to step up? We don't know when Braun's coming back through the hernia injury. So,
The
what is
surgery.
going on at this point?
Dude, I like it. I've always liked the guy on the microphone. He is a very, very talented guy. You're not gonna get much out of Bronson Reed. And at this point, it's like if they're not trying to bring back Paul Heyman, right now is a good time to actually let Logan Paul cook. Let him cook right now. People get used to him, and people actually say, you know what, the kid is good on the mic. I've always liked him on the mic. I actually liked what he did. I like the way he talked trash. And he brought it, just brought a lot more attention to the vision right now.
Which is true. Alrighty. I don't know. We'll see it to come. Like I said, I'm not really high hopes and creatives, but look, this ain't really Logan Paul's fault. The issue is here is that there's a lot of injuries with Seth Rollins being injured, as well as Braun Breaker out of nowhere. So there's a lot of things getting very stale, which I just see the first comment of the night. But Nix, thank you for agreeing with me right there. Vision is stale. I do agree. It is getting stale. You're missing the key players. And I like Logan Paul. I just don't think he's the missing piece right now. Look, at this point, we'll let it simmer, I guess, but I'm not very excited for this. This whole segment was okay. I don't understand what the Usos opened up Raw. They weren't even announced for a Raw's match, but yet they were in gear. So it's fucking shocking. Point is this is that things were kind of a little odd to begin Raw already. But out of nowhere, we have the man LA Knight making his way to the ring. And with that being said, he cuts a promo how he took out Theory and his Mania hopes are crushed. And yes, they were crushed. They were crushed by the Masked Man. And that's why also they're mad about because they want to find out who is this Masked Man. They blame
Yeah, I want to find
Adam
out who's the last man.
Pierce and all this stuff. So at that point, they'll put it this way: LA Knight basically threw out a challenge to the Vision, and he wanted to team up with the Usos. And him and the Usos don't have the perfect track
No,
record.
they don't.
But for tonight, set aside their differences and go on a tag team against the Vision itself. In the end of the day, Pierce loves this match enough to set it up.
So start right away, Raw.
All righty, starting away Raw. And I'm not going to lie to you. Watching this match, I was fucking bored. All right, look, it was exciting to see this match happen. The issue is, I don't know about you, but for the very long time, they had LA Knight getting his ass kicked.
They really did.
I felt like for eternity. It just every time we cut to commercials, you see him, he's getting his ass kicked. He's not getting the tag. He's just getting his ass kicked back and forth. And then when we finally see the tag, everything just felt so short. Like it just felt so off. It just didn't felt good. It felt boring. It felt stale.
Here's what I felt though. When Jay got the hot tag, I was looking. I'm kind of like trying to just picture him. I'm like, okay, cool. I want to see when he gets gassed. I was looking from a different point of view.
Okay.
I'm watching. I'm like, you know what, man? I want to see when you get gassed. I want to see like when it happens.
Okay.
And I honestly couldn't tell you when he got gassed. I was like, you know what? He's actually performing very, very well. He actually was doing actually very well for this kind of match.
But
So, and I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it was a 5-star, hot
No.
tag 5-star, but it was like compared to Jay's recent work, it was an improvement.
but bro, but that's because you're in a 3-way tag. It's not a 2-way even. It's a 3-way. And he didn't really do anything. It was all LA Knight doing all the work.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. He looked good, but dude, he's the third man.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to look good at this point. He hasn't done anything to wrestle throughout the whole match. LA Knight was really the star of the show, getting his ass kicked. And then he went through a barricade, which seems like every Monday Night Raw, we have to always have a barricade spot. And SmackDown. It is getting fucking sale, these barricade fucking, spots. Like, this is how creative is. Cross your fingers. Hey, lift it up, bro. Lift it up. It looks weird. So regardless, the point is this. Look, it seems like in the creative board, it's like they had to have one barricade spot throughout every single SmackDown and Raw. It is getting boring. I'm tired of seeing this shit. Save it for the PLEs, man. God's sakes. So regardless, he goes through a barricade. We don't see LA Knight throughout the whole night after this spot. It's like he disappeared. Okay? We go back into the ring. All right. At this point, we see Logan Paul set up Jimmy for his finisher, gets it on him to set up Bronson Reed, the legal man, at this point, for the tsunami. And 1, 2, 3, Jimmy's out. They lost. The Vision win. Everything just felt very stale at this point. And this is to begin Monday Night Raw. Let's read a couple of comments before we get into more details.
It'll be the year 2040, and we still see LA Knight feuding with someone from either the Vision or Bloodline.
You're not wrong.
Losing always.
LA Knight.
LA Knights.
Actually, yeah.
I think I know what is in the box. LA Knights, hopes and dreams.
So the mystery crate. We'll get into that, all right? So the point is this. Look, man. So I don't know if you heard some reports out here. So we had some reports that supposedly we do have a match already talking about leaked out for Mania, and that is LA Knight versus Brock Lesnar. All right.
Why?
Well, I don't know. So far, we haven't got any storyline, but so far the leak is the reason why is that Brock Lesnar got eliminated by LA Knight. So they're going to use that storyline when Brock Lesnar returns next week on Raw. He is set to debut next week on Raw. So he's coming back. They're probably going to set something up. And at this point, what else do you have for LA Knight to do? We know he's not going to win the Chamber. He's not going to win the Mania, like for the title. What else is there left? He's going to have to feud with someone, and it does look like Brock. Do I agree with it? Hell no. The way they're booking LA Knight tonight, they have to always have him losing. He's fucking over, yet they don't want this man to get a victory in. And I highly doubt he's going to go over the Beast if he does face him at Mania. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose.
Yep.
On that so-called hardcore match or whatever kind of match it was at WrestleMania that felt so short. And there was differences between Dean Ambrose and Brock. I get that backstage, but it just felt so short. I felt like this is going to be another match where LA Knight gets crushed by Lesnar because I just don't see Lesnar losing this match. Which kind of pisses me off that this whole setup is happening because you can have better opponents against Lesnar. It makes more sense for a guy like Obafemi who yet has signed a contract to either brand, have a feud against Brock Lesnar at this point.
You don't want to do it right now, huh?
But at this point, what else you got left, dude? Do you really want to see LA Knight versus Brock, or would you rather
see like maybe even Solo Sikoa?
But what's the point against him going Brock? Where's the storyline? You have to build a storyline. The issue is you don't have Brock there every week. You had him at Royal Rumble. There's two storylines you can build. You can build the one with LA Knight, have him eliminated, Brock Lesnar, or you could build the one where Obafemi wants his revenge against Brock, who eliminates him at the Rumble. In my eyes, it's Mania.
Yeah, just the only problem is the fact that Brock is not going to make Oba look strong.
Well, he has to, no matter what. Point is, though, I'd rather have Obafemi versus Brock at the big one because it sells more ticket. And the issue is right now, we're not selling tickets.
No, they're
No.
actually down a lot. They're down 9,000 from last month for last
And,
year.
and the point is, look at the creative shit that we got tonight. It's so far we've talked about the first segment and match. We're already complaining about it, and it's predictable. It's
I
common.
forgot one thing though. You know what though? I like the little spot about Logan Paul at the end where he's like, "You see that? That's what the Vision does all the time. That's what Vision does." I like that little real dig into the heel.
Okay, and then what happens?
I wish they would have had done what they did, which they brought in the Masked Man.
They brought in the Masked Man. We're gonna get to that. We're brought into the Masked Man. Curve stomps. Logan Paul puts the man out, and then from there he runs away while Theory and Bronson go after him.
Supposedly, but they stopped at the barricade. They stopped at the barricade. That's the one thing you forgot. They stopped at the barricade.
Yeah, because apparently they could go put someone through a barricade, but yet they can't go through themselves to a barricade. They can't jump over a barricade. I don't know, man. Look,
I thought they were finally going to reveal him for how long they stood on him with the light. I'm like, oh, they're finally going to reveal him. Never mind. We got a commercial break. All right.
Why would they reveal him now? I mean, at this point, I feel like it is. Look, my theory is this. I might be wrong, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Seth Rollins. And right now, it's a bunch of different guys dressed up as the Masked Man using the curve stomp. But in the end of the day, it's going to be Seth Rollins this whole time, but they're just going to build it up and build it up and build it up. And that's your creative team right now.
Yep.
Doing the same old shit because they just love mystery gimmicks, which is just pathetic at this point. So look, that is your opening segment. I don't know about you, but I'm already have a bad taste in my mouth. So
I wasn't a fan of it, really.
yeah. All right, man. So let's put it this way. So look, then after that, we do get a mystery crate. All right. So Adam Pearce talks to this guy. I forgot his name, but
I forgot the guy's name.
yeah, I think it was Brian or something like that.
Ted?
Regardless,
Something.
it doesn't matter. So regardless, he talks to him and says, "Hey, what is this?" And he's like, "Well, it's for you." It says, "Do not open till
2/28/26."
Yep, and which that equals to Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peter's like, "Well, do you know who it is?" And the guy's like, "No idea." And he keeps asking him multiple questions, but you notice that the guy holding basically a what's it called?
Clipboard.
A clipboard, and he's supposed to have info, but it's a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's WWE creative.
Yeah, I mean they couldn't at least give him something with words in it, but look,
Even
regardless,
the page of a Harry Potter book, it doesn't matter.
We have it in the crate, a mystery. Who could this mystery be? SG3, you want to take a quick guess?
Gobbly Cooper.
Could be the Gobbly Cooper. Could be, take this one. Could be the Big Show. Remember, he was in the crate before with the Undertaker.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yep. Or
Chris Jericho.
Well, I don't know about all that. Or it could be the Spirit Squad who got shipped to OVW by D-Generation X.
It really did. Holy cow.
Yeah, we got a quick comment. WWE uncreative. So regardless, or it could be another comment earlier. It could be LA Knight's casket for the burial he's about to get against Brock Lesnar. They're just preparing for it. So they want to have it ready by Chamber for him to show up in that casket. Look, at this point, Brock versus LA Knight in the casket match.
Why not?
Yeah, loser gets his big career buried for good. So look, man, there's a lot of mysteries. Obviously, the biggest one is Chris Jericho. I don't know. Look, since he did not appear at Rumble, he didn't appear at the Rumble afterwards. There's not much talk about him recently. And I get it. This tease does kind of seem like a mystery, does kind of seem like a Jericho thing. But are you guys really that sure it is him? I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm about 30%. And I really don't think it's him.
Let's say 35-40.
Yeah, I just don't think so. Because look, he's still on the AEW active roster. When he gets put off of it, then we could talk. But I just don't hear any rumbles. He does have a tour with Fozzy coming up. So is he really going to miss a lot of time for that for WWE? I don't think so, man. They have to work out a schedule. They have to work out a contract. And I get it. He doesn't have to show up every single week. But I just think it's I just think right now he is enjoying himself, what he's
Mhm.
doing. Would we like to see Jericho back?
Yes.
Obviously, I would just like to see him back in general. I don't even care if it's in AEW, dude. And for me at least. But regardless, I would just like to see him back. But regardless, whatever he does, we'll find out. And for sure, we're gonna find out what's in that crate.
On February 28th, 2026. And we're going to be here live to record, to actually do the live stream.
So at
We're going to
this,
just plug it in like no tomorrow, like WWE used to back with the WWE Network.
we're back in the chamber, live stream once again. All right, another comment.
It's hard for me to believe Jericho agreed to come out of a crate. Comment by Nick.
But that's the thing, man. Look, if it is really Jericho, how you gonna explain the man being in that crate for so long? You need to punch some holes. You need to get him some food. I mean, for God's sakes, man, there is no way the guy's still in the crate. Imagine he's in the crate, and when they open it, they find a lifeless Jericho. Like, like we forgot to put some holes in that crate.
You forgot to get him food.
Yeah, like damn, man, we fucked up. I don't know, man. It would be something interesting to see that happen. But then, where do you go with that? Just him appearing?
Probably.
And that's supposed to be greatest creative ever. Like the shock factor is there, but then where does it go? It's like, you know what this starting to remind me of? The Vince Russo gimmicks segments, not in WWF, WCW.
WCW, yeah.
Where
I was gonna say.
Eric Bischoff used to have, Eric Bischoff still has a podcast where he used to talk a lot about Vince Russo in his era, where they were combining heads during that time they were together in WCW, and where Vince throws a crazy idea, and then Eric's like, "Okay, Vince, and then what?" And then Vince just looks at him all like confused, like, "Oh, this is like the same creator right now."
I understand, bro. This is a good idea, bro. This is gonna be the shock factor, bro. I understand, bro.
Maybe it's Jericho light up in the jacket in the crate, Nick says.
Or Jericho's listening to the crate. Could be something.
Jericho listened to crate, or it could be a little bit of the bubbly in the crate.
It's a bit of the bubbly.
Yeah.
Or the Jeritron 2000, whatever he used to call it.
It could be who else? Lionheart, Chris Jericho. It could be the Ocho. It could be, or does he call him the 9 now? I forgot.
Because don't forget, they did also have a puppy for a crate one time.
Like there could be a lot of gimmicks here. Regardless, we're about to find out in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks.
I don't know. I'm excited to see the shit show that crate is gonna have. If it's Jericho, I'm gonna be excited. If it ain't Jericho, I don't know what to say at that point. Well, I guess we'll wait for my reaction that day. Regardless,
our reaction, because we're both gonna be watching here.
Yeah, we're gonna be live watching this. Any more thoughts as you three before we move to the next segment?
What's in the crate? That's all I gotta ask. All right, let's go.
All right, Bailey, Natty, and Asuka set to face off in the triple threat qualified match for the Chamber.
Is it just me that they give Natty like a Kurt Angle wrestling machine gimmick now?
Well, they try to do so. Put it this way: they're bringing her whole indie stint, Natty fucking gimmick going on. They tried, but like WWE always does, they fucked it up. All right, they made her soft looking in a way. We already know the Natty indie wrestler is amazing, badass, GCW type of shit. But instead, they made her kind of look like a joke at this point. They're vouching this whole Natty turning heel thing in my eyes. I just don't see anything else. It just seems like Natty Neidhart in a heel gimmick. Nothing special. Got good views too. So yeah, so put it this way. It was an okay match. All right. Some near misses, some decent match. I don't know. It was all right. It was kind of, little back and forth, but I mean, what do you think? We got a comment real quick. Natty is like the Ronda Rousey.
No, Ronda Lousy.
Lousy.
Ronda Lousy.
Man, yeah, her character's getting stale. They could have done a lot more with their character, but it just seems like they're just really dropping the ball here.
It's because, dude, OG fans remember Natty as just that, a filler. She was good for what, 6 months, a year at most, and then after that, she just fell off.
Yeah,
that's basically what she's been ever since then. Just come back, have a little bit of a pop, a little bit of a yay, let's go Natty, and then you just pop right off every single time. Like that's the thing, and it's like no one can take her serious anymore, unfortunately, because of the fact that it's like, because of the fact that it's like, you don't really push any. You didn't push her when you had to. When you had
Exactly.
the chance to push her, you pushed Charlotte, and you really shoved Charlotte down our fucking throats.
Well, she was also on that kind of the end of the Divas era.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, she wasn't really the star then. She looked like she was climbing up to be the star.
I
But
feel like, honestly, this is just me. I feel like she was more like just a very high mid carder in that division.
she's always been during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, she just started being more of a jobber. And then this heel turn was supposed to be the revived version of Natty Neidhart. But it just seems so flat. It just seems Natty in a heel character that's just still the same stale character. Just trying to be more angry and
Mm-hmm.
trying to be badass. It just doesn't equivalent anymore. It just lame. So regardless, okay, let's go to the finish. Bailey needs Natty for her to get out of the ring. And at that point, Asuka does get the Asuka lock,
Mm-hmm.
makes Bailey tap out. And on we go for Asuka making her way to the chamber qualifying match. What do you think about that real quick? Do you like Asuka winning?
Yeah.
Because at this point, there's no point for Bailey or Natty to really go on. After the match, we did have Maxine attack Natty Neidhart. So she did get her little revenge. So look, let me put it this way. If you notice one thing, we usually talk about the crowd. The crowd's been dead. All right.
Literally, they were dead almost the whole time.
They've been pretty much dead throughout this whole segment and the segment before. When Maxine came out, barely any noise that I remember hearing. And it was supposed to, I felt like they were supposed to get a bigger pop. It just didn't at all, wasn't just there. It felt flat. Everything tonight felt flat, and the crowd let them know that they're getting sick and tired of this shit. I doubt it's Memphis because I think I've been to a Memphis show before, and they're pretty good. Regardless, I just feel like this whole segment just felt flat.
Segments
throughout the whole night, the whole match, everything just felt flat, and the crowd let them know. The crowd is getting tired for this predictability, and nobody was standing on their seats. They were more sitting down the whole time. Couple of comments real quick. SG3, read it out, please.
Maxine's not a convincing performer. According to Michael Hayes, Natty is there to make the stars who are meant to be champion laugh my ass off. All for them by neck.
Alrighty, next segment. We see Adam Pierce once again. We've seen him throughout the whole night. Now he's talking. Yep. Now he's talking to the ruler. And he says that Raw really needs a ruler. I know Nick Aldis offered you a good contract. I'm going to tell you this. This contract's a lot better. And then the ruler himself, Obafemi, said, look, I get it, but I still need some time to think. Adam's like, take all the time you need. All right. And before he walks away, back from catering, we see the man,
the myth, the legend,
Rusev, looking at Oba looking at Rusev. No words exchanged. And it looked like Rusev was about to tell Oba, you gonna finish that chicken over there?
Yeah, that's right.
Look, the man's been in catering. I'm surprised we've seen them come back wherever he's been from at this point, because he's been missing for quite a while. And before that, he was getting buried. So it looks like we might get some hints that one, Oba is probably going to sign most likely to Raw. And two, right away, he's going to go into a feud with Rusev, where I'm sure Oba is going to go over
a lot.
Because, I mean, Rusev's getting jobbed out of everybody, even Dominic Mysterio, for God's sakes.
That's right.
There's not much to say about this segment. We're still waiting for the decision of Obafemi. We'll find out probably by Chamber, really.
Probably. Did you see those, London? Did you see the shirt that he was wearing?
Nah.
Happy Rusev Day.
Interesting.
I caught that. I'm like, hey, Rusev Day. I haven't seen one of them in a while. Okay.
Yeah, but without his
ex. In English?
Well, ain't in English, his wife. He doesn't really have a manager. And, I mean, he's cut some good promos by himself in AEW. I just feel like Rusev Day really helps out when you have a manager in role. I just don't see it happening. I mean, yeah, you can let the crowd go over, and WWE's probably like, well, we got to sell some more merch for this guy, so let's just bring out his old gimmick back. I'm not very excited for it. I'm sorry. I feel like this guy's past his prime, and look, the gimmick's funny, but that's only if you give it time.
Yeah,
and we haven't seen this guy quite a while. So that's all I got to say. It's nice to see though. It really is.
it was really nice to see.
All righty. So at this point, all right, Michael Cole has a sit down with Liv Morgan. Okay. And so at this point, before he gets some questions in, we got Dominic Mysterio getting his ass in the ring to be next to his girl. All
Yep.
right. Just like a good puppy he is.
Literally.
So at this point, before like we get a couple of words for Liv Morgan, while Michael Cole asks, so what he decided, Liv's like, look, I made my decision. And my decision is I'm not making my decision right now.
Nope, I'm not gonna rush it.
Nope, not gonna rush it. I like this whole thing. Keep going with it. You know what? Taking my time. Out we have Stephanie back here.
Yep.
And at this point, we have the Spanish promo taking over. So we understand, Spanish a bit. So I understood probably 70% of it.
I still understood all of it.
Yeah, but not everybody is.
Of course.
Here's the issue with that. I get it. English is not her native language. The issue is it really helps if you have subtitles. And without subtitles, this whole segment kind of feels flat. And yeah, I get it. Language of Stephanie Vaquer is not there. And I want to be a Vince Russo, but it does affect it when you don't have subtitles. And I get the whole back and forth with her and Dom. Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Dom did translate it to Liv really quick.
Yeah.
Congrats to Dom on that. That's pretty hard to do. We did have some basically you didn't earn it. I'm the women's champ. I went through hell and back.
You've been gifted WWE.
Yeah, you've been
gifted.
I
wasn't gifted WWE.
You had people. People had your back, but like Judgment Day and hide behind people all the time, like Dom and everybody. And then at this point, women's and little girls are gonna look up to me and not you. And a lot of trash talking.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow all this made Liv Morgan cry. I don't get it. Like, like why? Like, for all the stuff that Liv did, this whole, I mean, was it really that all that stuff that Dominic translate for her made her cry, or was it the fact that she didn't understand Spanish made her cry? Like, I don't understand why. Why did this happen? Why did she start crying? Like, she did a lot of bad shit. She basically took somebody else's man.
She did.
So why all of a sudden, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. This segment.
I think it's gonna be funny.
What?
They're probably just trying to flip the script on us and make Stephanie the heel and Liv the face.
I mean, Stephanie as a heel makes a lot better sense because of her language, difference. But it just doesn't make sense creative wise. It just doesn't make any sense. Let's read a couple of comments before we get details.
Well, the last one was, I thought Steph said some shit about her family or something by Nick.
What about the one on top?
Right there, according to Michael Hayes, he's there to make the stars. Yeah.
So, okay. So, I don't know, man. What do you think about this whole segment real quick?
I could see why she's doing it, because she was like, if Bad Bunny can perform a whole concert in Spanish, I can do this week in, week out in Spanish.
It's not the
I can
same
see
thing.
her. I can see her with that. However, I agree because it's her strong language. However, I don't agree with WWE with no subtitles, and then you can't hear Dom. Dom is speaking too fast, too soft, and just only translates it to Liv. If you want to capture an English audience with the Spanish champion and you want to let the Spanish champion talk in Spanish, subtitles, translation, something, even if it's Dom has to speak louder, has to speak clearer, and has to really say what's going on.
But that's,
and I get the fact that Stephanie's passionate, Stephanie just wants to just boom, 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 boom. I get that. But you have to let that simmer.
But the thing is, Dom is not there to be a translator. He's there to be a wrestler and a gimmick himself. A lot of her segments has to be pre-recorded. And I think this was one. I'm sure this was a pre-recorded. And yet they fucked that up. Because in the end, the only way you get her translation is you got to go on their YouTube channel and watch the interview there to get a fucking translation. which doesn't make any sense.
Especially because Netflix does have Spanish captions.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just feel like this whole segment fell flat.
Mind you, for the people that speak Spanish, they understood it, and they go like, "All right, cool, yeah, we see the fact what you went through and everything." But if you're even if you're not a hardcore fan, if you don't understand Spanish, you're not a hardcore fan, and didn't watch her in AEW, didn't watch her in CMLL, didn't watch her in those.
But that's the same thing you get for Oscar. Like you're not gonna understand everything. That's the whole point. Is
but they put Oscar with subtitles?
Not all the time. No, not
Today
all
they
the time.
did.
Today they did, but only when she keeps it short. But when she goes on her tantrum, they don't put subtitles in there. I've seen this before many times. So yeah, I just felt everything fell flat here. I just don't understand this. Not only that, but we never see her wrestle at all. No, our champions don't ever wrestle her on the show. Another comment by Nick.
Yeah, she's a champion. We need to know what she is saying. No compromise.
Yeah,
but Asuka's not the main champion for the company.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, regardless, he's just like, I get it. You know, Asuka does have subtitles, but it's usually short, and she's good at keeping it short. I just don't.
Dude, if you think about it, Stephanie wasn't winded tonight. Stephanie really wasn't winded. It was like quick little jabs, what she was saying, and it wasn't a long promo. But it's like, even if this was pre-recorded, it still was just bad on WWE's part because it's like, dude, you guys are really going to turn off a lot of eyes from your product because there's a lot of people who are like, we can't understand her.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that messed up is the fact that if you go on Netflix and you put it in Spanish, it's still going to come out in freaking Spanish. So it's like, if you guys are going to do these kind of recordings with her, and if Dom's going to be there to translate for Liv, Dom has to have a microphone to translate for everyone to understand.
Nah, but that's the thing. It's just that it's not Dominic's responsibility. And what if Dominic Mysterio is not there anymore? So
he's gonna be there from here to Mania, dude.
I really do think that Stephanie Vaquer needs a manager.
She does.
I don't think this is not Dominic Mysterio's job. I'm sorry. I just don't think this is a good idea for Dom. They really need a manager for Stephanie Vaquer. I don't care who it is. Someone that could help translate this for her. And Dom and her could go back and forth still. But it has to be someone that helps translate Stephanie's part. It's just,
if you want to keep it,
like Gulia, thank you.
If you want to keep this to go, okay. You know who actually I would even think of a good name, and they'll bring a nice nostalgic pop for it. Lita speaks Spanish.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that great though compared to
Dude, do you remember when she translated for S.A. Rios?
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Yeah, but it's gotta. The thing is, dude, they're not gonna. Lita's not gonna come back to be a manager. You gotta look at it long term. And the end of the day, you have to bring someone that wants to be up there in the roster, someone that Hispanic heritage and NXT maybe that's coming their way up. Look, we're not gonna go into details. Regardless, though, this is not working this angle. I'm sorry. Look, I like it, but it's the buildup is still kind of stale here. I just like the segments between Liv and Dom, like last week on SmackDown, enjoying their Valentine's date with nuggies and stuff. That is funny. That is still funny. But this whole Stephanie thing not working out, just my opinion. I get what you're saying, SG3. I don't disagree. The issue is I think it's better for them to find someone up and rising, just like what they're doing with Gulia. Same situation. Someone that needs TV time. Why not put them in the manager role? For the meantime, doesn't have to be permanent. But look, regardless, that is that segment. After that, we do have CM Punk come out. Mm-hmm. And this is the only part that the crowd kind of got a little bit excited because everything, they were just quiet. And I don't blame them. All right, this Raw was kind of just bad.
It was bad.
So they got him excited. He comes out and, he talks about the same old stuff.
Yep.
And
I'm a fighting champion. I deserve a fighting champion. I am the best in the world, not Finn.
I'm not a part-timer. Take shots at Roman, take shots at Finn. It seems like the same shit that he's been saying the last couple of weeks. And here's the issue. Once again, the issue with the storyline with Roman, it's going to fall short. It's going to get stale already. It's starting to get stale. And it kind of felt boring, this segment. It's not one of the best CM Punk segments. No. He has gotten some good stuff on the mic. This was just kind of flat. I think
it got better when Finn came out.
Sort of. And I
I'm
wouldn't
not
say it's
saying
100% better.
Not yeah, I was gonna say, but it made it at least
10, 20%.
10 to 25% better.
The only
For sure.
reason it made it better is just because we saw the returning JD McGunner.
Thank
We
goodness
also
the
got
feather's back.
we also did get it that he's right now sticking with the NXT theme song,
Mhm.
which is good to see. We also saw Dom making his way in the ring, and at this point, CM Punk egg him on to just jump him, that he knows why he's here. But we also did get a little interesting promo where Balor was telling him you can't be in the best in the world unless you fight out there, in Ireland and all these stuff. You go, train at the best dojo, and then you
Japanese
beat
dojo
Roman Reigns
on Raw.
on your first night on Raw. And when he said that, he got no pop because I don't think nobody in the crowd knew what the hell he was talking about, because nobody remembers this in the crowd.
I'll be honest with you. I thought it was like talking about like Dom and JD and then himself. When
I,
you first bringing them up, I'm like, are you talking about Dom and JD? Oh no, what you're talking about yourself. Oh, okay.
well, I got it right away because I knew, the first Universal Champion.
No, I got that.
Yeah.
But when he was saying train with the luchadors in Mexico, train, in this, and then Japanese dojo, I'm like, is he talking about himself or is he talking about JD and Dom and then himself? Like basically making Punk like the fourth best in the world, not the actual one. Then he's like, oh no, all this is you. Okay.
So regardless, man, promo was pretty good from Finn Balor. Punk was kind of the same old stuff. Punk did turn his back and said, if you're gonna attack me, just do it, but you're gonna risk your chances at Elimination Chamber because he kind of told Balor that you can't beat me without doing something like this.
Yep.
He also mentioned that he thinks he's above Judgment Day.
Yes, he did.
Which kind of teases a little fact that he might break. And we also saw JD McGunn really want to go after Punk. After especially that big head comment where everybody started chanting bobblehead.
Bobblehead.
This is the only time really that the crowd interacted.
Really, dude. Like that's a shocker.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. This segment was all right. Look,
what did he say when he went off camera? When he got off the mic and he was coming up the ramp, he said, don't turn your back on the ones.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared to turn your back. Okay, that's what he said. Okay.
Yeah. So that's that segment right there.
On after that, just kind of bridge right into it. Then you had them go backstage.
Well, I was gonna kill. So look, after that, we did get cut between Rhea and Io talking about the qualifier matches as well. And we noticed one thing: Io's not in the qualifier. She didn't make the cut, but Rhea did. So that teased a little bit of segment between a breakup eventually in the future. Maybe some jealousy. Maybe one turns heel. Maybe we get a Rhea Ripley turning heel, or we get a Io finally turning heel.
Ain't Io going next week?
I don't think she made the cut. I thought she didn't.
No, I thought she did. I thought next week is a 3-way match with her and 2 other people. Raquel and somebody else.
I don't know. We're gonna get back to
I think it's Kairi Sane too. It's her, Kairi Sane, and Raquel for a spot in Elimination Chamber next week on Raw.
We're gonna have to check that later. Regardless, the point is, I don't think so, because I think I did remember seeing the interview say something that she didn't make the cut. So I don't know. We'll get a fact checked out there. Real quick with the comments, JD didn't get much of a pop. Nah. So his return didn't get much of a pop at all. Not even Roman remembers. Man, you're not wrong about that. Even Roman Reigns doesn't acknowledge it, I guess you could say. So regardless, we got the Kabuki Warriors coming out. We did get Kairi cutting a little promo saying, your guys are not going to be ready because Asuka made the cut. And at this point, when he said, we're both going to win it or something like that. And that's when Asuka kind of cut Kairi. Mm-hmm. And that kind of teases some little bit back and forth going on recently with Kairi Sane. So what do you think is going to happen quicker? We're going to have the breakup of the Kabuki Warriors first, or the breakup of the Judgment Day?
Probably the breakup of the Judgment Day. Probably breakup with Judgment Day first.
You think so?
Yeah, because if you look at it, like Finn's using his whole theme song again, which is a teaser thing about it. He's about to leave the group. And that's really it. Notice we didn't see Roxanne Perez today. I just noticed that we didn't see Roxanne today.
Probably had the day off.
Probably.
You really think so? I actually think the Kabuki Warriors break up first.
I could see Kabuki by WrestleMania. That'd be in the match for sure.
I could see them by the Chamber, which equates to them having a match at Mania.
Mania.
I don't see Judgment Day breaking up first before them. I just don't. All right, so on to the next segment from there. We got Los Grandes Americano coming out because Grande Americano himself had a #1 contenders match for the Intercontinental Champion, which he agreed with Adam Pearce to do tonight against a mystery opponent. And who was that mystery opponent, my man?
Cero Miedo.
We did have Penta come out, make his way to the ring. They both fought out, little back and forth stuff into the end of the match. When we saw Bravo about to hand him the faceplate to Grande Americano so he could hit Penta with it. But instead, we got the man get dragged underneath the ring. Disappeared to the point where nobody knew where he was at. And then from there, we did get the returning OG Americano come out, beat up Los Americanos, distract El Grande Americano for Penta to hit the Mexican Crusher, Springboard Mexican Crusher for the win. So now he's challenges Dom Mysterio. I don't know when exactly. I think is it Elimination Chamber?
I don't know.
They never really said it, but I think it's in Chamber. They're probably gonna do it at Chamber to fill in some matches. For the #1 contenders match, challenges Dom. I don't know. Not the best match. It's like okay match overall. I like what they're doing with the whole Grande Americano gimmicks. It's funny. We did have OG try to attack Grande once again, take off his mask. I like that effect, but eventually this is getting kind of a little stale too, that it's doing the same predictable stuff every week. Yeah. We got to change it up a bit, you know? Any other thoughts on this?
The one thing is, if I was just to criticize one thing, Bravo looked for too long for that face plate.
Yeah. What else we got?
That's one thing. Couple comments though. Roxanne wasn't here last week either. Oh, you didn't even notice that.
Maybe she's taking a long break.
Probably. Oscar versus Kyrie, loser leaves Raw. Ooh, Nick, good match.
I would like that. Yeah, I probably would say Oscar loses.
I think so too.
Kyrie would have to get a redemption at this point,
especially for everything. And then Wyatt, last but not least, hey guys, how are you guys tonight? Hey Wyatt, how you doing, brother?
Nice to see you again, Wyatt. Yeah, thank you for joining us once again, man.
Appreciate the comment, brother.
Yep. So regardless, man, I don't know, man. I like the way that things are going with them. For the OG Americano, I would like to see them face off, but also
mask versus mask.
Mask versus mask, but at the same time, man, let's not get this gimmick and everything stale once again, because eventually it will. Any other thoughts?
Listen, I gotta ask you a question, man, just to go ahead and kind of add a little bit to this conversation. So, do you think that now for you, because back in the day, and again, not the best name to bring up, but I'm just gonna bring it up. Vince knew how to simmer. Vince knew how long to make a segment simmer so that way the fans could like literally almost like salivate, like, oh my god, what's the result? What's gonna happen? Do you think that like because we became a microwave kind of society, that our simmer is less now than when it was when we were kids growing up and watching this? Or do you feel like it's just being dragged on way too long?
Well, to make this quick, because this is a good question after to bring up with the whole Mania preview card so far that we got. But to make a quick segment, we're living the TikTok age where everything is short and sweet. But at the same time, I just think Vince had the right recipe when he was actually in his prime, but not everything hit as well. So sometimes we like to look back at like nostalgia, but at the same time, it really wasn't some of the stuff. But at the same time, I won't disagree that the Attitude Era was a lot better. The Ruthless Aggression Era was a lot better. Some segments in the PG era was still a lot better than today's Raw.
I came in the COVID era.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I could disagree where Triple H was killing it. But just lately, overall, wrestling as a whole, it's not just WWE, it's also AEW. It's just not the same. But good point to bring up. We'll talk later about that more.
Probably, yeah.
So we got the segment that you were talking about. Raquel and JD McDonough are all seen in the back. Well, first Raquel and Dom are trying to,
Console Liv Morgan.
and Liv Morgan leaves crying still once again, which confuses everybody. And then at that point, we see the argument between JD and Balor. Disagreements. How Balor wants to take out Punk tonight. Balor says no. Balor says, I wanted this fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
And then JD's like, I'm just trying to help. And Balor's like, if you want to help, just get out of my way. So JD angrily walks away. Balor walks to the other side. Dom's like, wait, guys. I still got a match tonight.
Like, the best part is they're arguing. He's like, guys.
So look, man, there's a little bit of tease here that it's going to break up. I think come Chamber, it's probably going to cost Balor the match.
I believe it.
And I think it's JD and Dom cost the match and eventually turn on Balor during the Chamber, where it seems like we're going to have probably Balor versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania.
For the IC title.
I don't hate it. I think it's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope this is just the end of Judgment Day as a whole. I'm tired of seeing this. I like this direction better. And we'll probably see, I want to say a good guy, Balor, but I think we're probably going to see Balor break up with the Judgment Day and turn somewhat face. But overall, I think that's where this direction is heading to. Any other thoughts on this real quick?
Nah, bro, I think honestly that they're gonna should finish by at least by Chamber, maybe a little bit after, but they're gonna definitely head into the roads where it's gonna be JD and Dom versus Finn for the IC title. Like probably JD's gonna come out trying to interfere, and Finn's gonna win, and then the crowd's gonna go crazy for that. I can see that happening already.
Yep. And look, let's talk about another segment that kind of fell flat to me, and that is AJ Lee coming out and addressing Becky Lynch and the issues she has against her, and how this match is important because she is not wrestled for about 10 years now. So this whole promo, Becky Lynch coming out, looks like she wants to fight AJ. AJ kind of eggs her on, tells her give her the first, punch and all this stuff. This whole segment just fell flat, man. This whole segment reminded me of CM Punk segment earlier. Yeah. And that's hard to say with AJ Lee. I expected a lot better from her. There was nothing entertaining about this. It just kind of felt really bad,
flat, dude.
Yeah, really flat, bad. And what do you got out of this segment? I mean, what can you really say?
A lot when she's cornered.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
Becky really did stammer a lot, dude, in the promo.
I think Becky was a lot better than AJ Lee, though.
She was, though.
Yeah. So I just don't think AJ Lee has that. I think she lost a step. I think she lost a lot of step because Becky got her pretty well. Because the whole AJ telling Becky, look, it's not my fault you could have made a name of yourself in the last 10 years that I wasn't there, which I totally disagree.
I disagree.
I think Becky's a bigger superstar than AJ Lee ever was at this point. And, trying to give her a nod that thanks to her, there is a women's division now. And the same thing goes for her in her time with other women.
Yeah.
I just felt like all that was flat. And I felt like Becky's whole segment made more sense. Because even the comic book line saying you can make a comic book like you were doing the last 10 years when you were gone about stepping into the ring with one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I felt that whole segment right there with Becky, the whole promo right there.
Becky has really improved her promo work, though.
Well, overall, Becky's always been a good talker, and I really do think Becky got the best of AJ Lee tonight. And that's the thing with AJ Lee. I don't know what's going on with her, but her segments just felt really flat. Everything that they have AJ Lee doing in WWE,
it's cringy.
It's cringy. It's boring. Creative is not doing her any justice. And I get it. She's not there every week. But when she's out there,
it's cringy.
There's nothing.
It's cringy.
Yeah, there's nothing. And what a big race to return right now. She can do better. We've seen her, having some pretty good segments back in the day. I didn't think AJ Lee was always the best women wrestler out there. I thought she was good of her time. I thought she was the best of her time. But I wouldn't say she was the best in the promos. But I felt like she could do a lot better. And WWE Creative's not doing her justice. Real quick comment from Wyatt Wrestling.
From Wyatt. It felt AJ Lee, the way she was talking, like trying to be a cool mom, trying to be cool, which was not good. And with Becky, WWE, what are they doing? Like, come on, man.
Can it say any way better than that? Wyatt. I do agree 100%. This segment just did not look good. And honestly, Becky got the best of AJ. And that's all I can say. Any other thoughts?
Honestly, dude, I'm just tell you like this. I feel like AJ's trying to hit the zingers with the one-liners, but it's like you. This is not the pre-show. This is not the post-show. This is raw. This is live. You have to do better than one-liners. You have to actually make people feel for you. You have to make people actually get behind you. Especially because Becky all the time gets fans behind her, whether they like her, whether they cheer her, whether they boo her, whatever. But people get behind Becky. And if you want to go against, well, probably right now, one of the best women on the mic in this era right now, you have to start having feelings. And I get it right now, you don't have it, but you have to really start having that feel. However, you're not going to do much within about a week.
True.
Now, if AJ loses in Chicago and goes on to face her again at WrestleMania, you have to start having emotion. You have to start having feelings. You have to start being mad. You have to start being happy. You have to start being upset. You have to start, whatever it is, you have to have that raw emotion that we can get behind because Becky knows how to get that emotion out of you.
Yeah. So agreed. So overall, I agree with that 100%. We'll see what comes in the next couple of weeks. I just not have a lot of hope. On to the next segment. We do have a little promo. That is AJ Styles' accomplishments, which was shocking to see. And apparently, through the end of this whole segment with showing AJ Styles best of best, accomplishments and stuff, he's gonna come back, have a little tribute show in his hometown of Georgia
next week.
I don't understand what's the point of this. Like, it's already been 3 weeks since Rumble.
So I don't know if you heard the rumors. Supposedly, there's a lot of rumors going on about that one.
Well, there's talks of him in his contract. He has not signed a new contract. There's hints of him when he came into Stephanie McMahon's podcast, and he didn't really secure the books of him being retired throughout that whole interview. And it looks like this is either look, if they don't have a contract in place, this looks like a way to WWE kind of have AJ like, hey man, let's talk about a contract. Let's get you a tribute show. We could talk in your town about this. It's kind of like we hear rumblings that he wants to go out there and pursue, the independent scene or any other promotion, but it just doesn't seem like he's 100% retired yet. And
from what he said though was a while back on an interview, a little bit after the whole Rumble show was, I'm done. I'm retired. Only way I'll come back if my son decides to get into it. Then we'll do something.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of open-ended questions. I don't really think he's fully retired, man. And this whole tribute show just seems odd. What's the point? Like, why have him now 3 weeks out? I get it, they're going to Georgia. But what are they gonna do? They're gonna have him show up, do his tribute, leave. It's just kind of confusing. As well.
The gloves.
I guess it just doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
If they actually had him sign a contract and they want him to fully retire, I get that. They gave him a big fat paycheck. It just doesn't make sense. We'll see next week. I'm not holding my hopes up for anything good. Last match of the night: Gunther versus Javon Evans versus Dominic Mysterio. Qualifying match, triple threat. Down to the nitty gritty.
Call it the main event. I don't even notice that they did not call it the main event.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So regardless, this is the match of the night. Last match. 3 men went at it. Little back and forth. Almost hit their movesets. Some crazy spots from Javon Evans.
Super crazy spots, dude.
But you notice that he had not much of a crowd reaction. Once again, this crowd doesn't give him a reaction. And here's the thing with Javon Evans. I like the guy.
I really like the kid, man.
But the issue is he just does too much for a too little show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to dial it down a little bit. Look, I like his wrestling, but it's a lot of high-flying stuff. The crowd is not always going to pop for you every single time. Sometimes you got to save the big stuff for the big shows and have the little stuff and the little matches here and there. But regardless, the man is who he is. You can't change that. So overall, look, the end of the night, we did have Dragon Lee come out. So, and he hits Gunther for revenge for AJ Styles with the bell. When that bell gets hit, Gunther, he's out of the match for good. And at that point, it looks like Dom was going to pick up the
Yep.
win. Sets him up for 619 on Javon. Javon counters and hits him with the young OG to get the win. Surprise. I'm not
Yep.
going to lie. This is a big surprise. Did not see
Swerve
this
of the
coming.
night.
Swerve of the night, swerve for the week. I didn't see this coming. I like it because at this point you have him in the chamber and we can see some crazy spots because that's what he really is going to be used for. So I like how this is going for Javon.
I like the little surprise niche tonight.
Honestly, dude, I'm not shocked if we're going to see Gunther versus Dragon Lee at Mania. There's nothing for Gunther to do. I'm telling you, I told you this the other week that there's nothing for Gunther to do. There, once again, creative is falling short. And this their wonder why they're not selling tickets to this show for Mania. They're a lot shorter than they expected. And they also gave out a discount recently.
Yeah, they gave a 25% discount. I just saw that.
Yeah, so they're not moving tickets. They're not letting any other bar or hotel stream having like these streaming watch parties anymore around the area, at least 50 miles of Vegas. So overall, everything's just falling flat in the creative side. I get it. Some injuries prevented that, but they really depend on these main eventers instead of building the whole card to be good. There is a lot of stale stuff here, man. There's a lot of things I'm not excited for. And one of the things is this, the saddest part. Roman versus Punk is not selling. It's not going to sell because if it was really selling, there'll be a lot more tickets sold. But yet there isn't. So their main event, this is going to be night 2 main event. It's not selling.
No.
All right. Your other night might just be, in the end, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh, dear God.
Maybe we could add for 2. I don't think it's going to happen. Brock versus LA Knight seems like fucking a horrible match of the night. We even have Aleister Black feuding with Randy Orton possibility because now it looks like Aleister Black landed that Karrion Kross road where he keeps mentioning the old Randy Orton and teasing some stuff. It just reminds me of Karrion Kross's gimmick.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of sad that they gave the man his, someone else's gimmick. So we might even have Aleister Black versus Randy Orton, which makes no sense at all, really. So everything just seems a little bit flat if this is the direction we're going to Mania. No creative storylines, kind of just boring, predictable shit that we always get. Couple of comments here.
A lot of comments, actually. Kevin Owens say Javon Evans needs to be more quote unquote urban.
I heard about that. That is just crazy. Urban.
Hey, Kevin.
I like Kevin Nash.
Kevin.
Look, the thing is, it's not about it's whatever Javon Evans feels comfortable with. If whatever gimmick he wants to do, that's on him. I don't know about this whole urban thing. I don't know what the hell that guy smokes sometimes, Kevin Nash, but that's the less I say, the better.
I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna say anything. I love that. Why? I love that Javon's won. Someone new getting an opportunity finally. Honestly, brother, yes.
That I agree with because, like I said, it's unpredictable and a lot of things we talk about is predictability. But tonight, the main event was at least unpredictable, and I'll give it that. Yeah. That's a shock factor that I could get behind to. No complaints from me at all. Not from you, I'm sure.
No, definitely not. No. Yeah. My only complaint about that was the fact again they didn't mention it and it didn't feel like a main event. That's just me though, and the reason why I'm asking because I was watching it with Mika. Mika looks at me and goes, "Is this the main event?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." It's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh, if she's asking and she's a fan, like that should tell you kind of how it was going." A couple more comments. Fatu versus Drew versus Orton versus Sammy versus Cody. Fatal 5-way ladder match for the title. Laughing my ass off.
Oh yeah,
freaking Nick. And this could, and then Wyatt last one. This could happen. Who was better celebrity? Who was a better celebrity at WrestleMania? It could be Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny.
So that is another rumor. Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. I am not against that. I'm actually think that could be a lot better match, entertaining match of the night. It could even be match of the night.
So many matches right now.
Yeah, that could be the better version of all these matches because Bad Bunny could go. Not saying he's the best celebrity wrestler, far from it, but he's pretty decent. Like,
really set the bar high, dude.
He's popular. He gets the fans over with them. Logan Paul is, I wouldn't consider him a celebrity anymore wrestler. I consider him more of a wrestler, a
Literally.
part-time wrestler. But I think Logan Paul has the capabilities to carry Bad Bunny into this match. It will be a lot more entertaining, and they probably could build a good storyline, even in social media. It's kind of like the whole Jelly Roll thing.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good. I think this is probably the only match I would say I will look forward to if
Of
this
night
is
one.
the case. And that's sad to say. If it's really a celebrity match to look forward to, that is sad.
I should tell you how bad WrestleMania is going to be this year.
Um.
We've never looked forward to a celebrity match ever.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't like the way this whole week's been going so far. Let's talk about real quick AEW Grand Slam, and let's just talk about wrestling. Well, let's just talk wrestling as a whole.
Okay.
Okay, so if we're gonna knock WWE down for bad ticket sales, we have to knock down AEW as well for not selling as much in Sydney, Australia this year.
Oh.
So last year they did not compete against last year's ticket sale to the point where they did some bad advertisements because they did not get no fucking advertisements out there for the show. They barely got tickets going on sale. Not only that, but a lot of it was tarp. You could tell a lot of the crowd was missing, and at some point, they gave out free fucking tickets, and they still couldn't fill out the crowd. They gave out discount tickets. They could not fill out the crowd. So it's not just one organization, man, but it's like whole wrestling in the whole right now. If your number one and number two promotion are not selling well for these events, I'm not saying, so put it this way, not saying Grand Slam is your WrestleMania, not your big, it's not even a PLE. It's a collusion. It's a glorified house show collusion, basically. Yeah. But at the same time, they did hype it up. They did put out a really good card. Not gonna say the card was all good. A lot of predictability too. A lot of the shit was already predictable. One whole segment match, and let's put it away. The last two didn't make any sense, and that is this. Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa making his debut, right? A couple of weeks back. Next thing you know, he's the TNT champion.
Right away.
He beats Mark Briscoe. Cool. Unpredictable, whatever. I didn't think it was the right time, but it happened. So congrats on him. All right. He names his title from instead of Goldie, like it's NXT days, till Sylvie or something like that. Which fine, cool. It's kind of funny. A little nod to NXT, black and gold. But eventually, last Dynamite, he loses it, and now in 2 weeks, he was just champs. He loses it right away. That's fucking bad bookings in my eyes. Because what's the point of him being champion? To get that cheap pop, to get that Triple H cheap pop, to have him, trending a little bit in social media, for him to lose, basically. And I get it. You wanted Kyle Fletcher, the hometown hero at Australia, to go in to maybe sell some more tickets as MSTNT title. And then out of nowhere, you have Mark Briscoe come back to challenge him in a fucking ladder match to have their best out of 7 series at this point. I'm tired of this feud. I'm glad that it's over. The whole match was kind of look, for a ladder match, it was a lot of blood, but it just seems kind of mid. It was a bad match overall. A lot of predictability throughout this whole card. Basically, we knew that Wheeler Yuta was eventually going to get his head shaved. Yeah. John Moxley versus Takeshita went to the draw. Not a fucking surprise. MJF beating Brody Lee clean was kind of a surprise, clean wise. So I don't know, man. They just right now, creative as a whole for wrestling feels really flat. They cannot sell tickets from either organization. I think we're at the point where the wrestling boom is already down. It's on E. It's on empty. It's starting to wind down. We hit its peak and it's gone already. Yep. I don't think right now it's a good time to be a wrestling fan because it's just not much investment in creative in any spot, any promotion as much. Like even TNA just has the same old stale shit. It's basically WWE light, WWE 2.0. So I don't know, man. I don't like the direction wrestling is going as a whole. Any thoughts on that?
It happens.
No, it doesn't happen, man. No. It only happens when you let it happen.
It happens, dude. And I'm still getting it from a
Don't
business
give me that
standpoint.
shit happens. Shit happens.
And that does happen, dude.
No, it
Unfortunately.
doesn't happen. It just
Uh,
happens when you want to let it happen.
well, he was. Listen, I'm gonna read you 3 comments. Logan Paul over Dom Mysterio versus Bad Bunny. Yes. Reason why though is because Dom's gonna be in the feud with Finn Balor. That's already been it. But this way though, it's like celebrity versus celebrity, and Logan can train him more.
Okay.
This feels like WrestleMania season. Yes. John Cena saves him last year. You were there.
Well, that's the one thing. It's just that in the end of the day, you had John Cena's final appearance at Mania. That's what also helped move tickets. It's the whole Cena's last tour. Now, was it a good tour? Was it a good match? No. Did people enjoy it? Hell no. But the thing is, it helps sell tickets because it was John Cena's final tour.
Yeah.
So that actually helped it a lot. So that could be said. You could use that as, it did help a lot. What else we got? Agreed.
I'd agree with Nick. And then Nick said, I mean, the last decade with Vince was trash.
It was trash. And I'm not
So-
saying Vince was the better booker either.
But so this is what I'm trying to say, dude. We have this in wrestling as fans where we get something and it starts going good for us, and it starts going great, it starts, getting up there, and it climaxes, and then we're there for a little bit, and then it comes back down, and it comes back down, and then the bubble pops. So right now where the bubble has already popped, and now we're starting to come back down.
Yeah, but this ain't no fucking stock market, man. Look, you let it pop when you want to let it pop.
They both the companies let it pop. How long have people not been complaining about Tony Khan's booking?
In the last couple of weeks. But honestly, there's a lot of segments that still feel flat. There's a lot of storylines not finished. And when they finally finish it, they pick it up like a month later when it makes no fucking sense at all. Like right now, man, it's just not a good time. And TNA going to AMC, yes, things are starting to pick up a little bit. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, honestly, right now, I feel like this year is gonna be where we're now starting to realize the adrenaline for wrestling kind of went down. Unfortunately, I hate to be that person to say it, but I feel like on both sides of the spectrum, wrestling went down. Wrestling, don't get me wrong, dude. I'll still watch it. I'm still gonna get excited for it. I'm still ready to sit down and talk with you about it. Watch it with Mika, watch it with my honey and everything. I can't wait to keep watching it. But unfortunately, it's like unless you're a hardcore, diehard fan, you're not gonna keep up with it.
I mean, but that's the thing. We will keep up with it.
I was gonna say we're gonna keep up with it. Nick's gonna keep up with it. Wyatt's gonna keep up with it. Ryan's gonna keep up with it. Like those guys are definitely gonna keep up with it. However, though, it's eventually, like I said, right now it's like you bring the cat. Like again, you get that moment. We bring in the casuals, the non-fans that haven't watched for years, the fans, everything. Is like you get them for that moment, and then later on it comes down. WrestleMania 28 when Rock came back, that was that moment. And then after Rock came back and Rock beat Cena, it crashed down.
But that's the thing. You depend on bookers like main events, stars to save your company. That's pathetic.
But who have either company really built to be that?
They did build people, but when they build people, they just crash. AEW had a lot of stars in their pocket that could have been big. Hell, they still have one top guy, MJF. That look, when I was watching Brody King versus MJF, the man could put up a show, like with any match. That the whole point where Brody Lee carries him over his fucking head. You hear MJF says, "Oh shit!" like right away, got me fucking laughing on stream. The man is gold. The man could cut a promo. The man could cut a promo against the crowd, any place, anywhere. That man is gold on the mic. They have a star. They just don't know how to elevate him to the next level. He could elevate himself. The issue is you just don't know how to take them to the next level in a lot of their stars. The issue with them address it and then just keep going. All right. So yeah, technical difficulty. Sorry, but regardless, right now it's just the point is this, man. Both companies dug themselves into a hole, and they have to figure out how to get out of there. And I do not have faith in Tony Khan. Do not have faith in TKO and Triple H. And yeah, it's going to crash, and I'm not happy about it. And I have a right to complain every single week. We both have a right to complain every single week until it gets fucking better. Couple of comments.
But that's why we have Roman versus Punk in the main event, because who else on the main roster could sell out?
But
he only trusts the part-time. So then same Nick kind of says the same thing as me. We're kind of reliving 2019 again.
But the first thing, the thing is, I get Roman versus Punk. That was supposed to be the main event to sell out or to sell more tickets, but did it really sell more tickets in the end?
No.
I don't think it did. I don't even think it sold. I don't think anyone got too excited to see that. And I think that's because of Roman being a part timer. It really does affect it because Roman's not there. So there's no stocks into Roman. There's no advertisement going on that Roman appears. I mean, Roman appearing on Raw could also help boost more the morale on Raw. More excitement for your top guy being there and having their little face off and stuff. It's just not selling tickets. This is the whole point. It's just that main event is not the end all be all in the end.
No.
We're kind of reliving 2019 again.
I just said that right now.
I don't know if it's that bad. I wouldn't say, but if it gets any worse, we could possibility get there.
If it's on E right now and this is a cycle, then maybe we'll see a boom period, and that boom period is Rock versus Roman next year.
You're not wrong. I just, but that's the thing. Like, once again, it's like we got to depend on The Rock to come back, and that's
Rock
only
and Roman to come back.
But that's only if The Rock's even in good shape. The guy lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he did.
And the guy's making different type of movies. I don't know if The Rock really wants to come back. So, okay, let's put it this way: if The Rock and Triple H have serious beef, which I do think they will.
I think they do. It's not they will. I think they do.
Well, they've been having beef since like back in the day, but like serious beef to the point where Triple H is down to his knees and getting a lot of shit everywhere. Do you guys really think that The Rock is going to come back to help creative on Triple H's side? I don't think so. I think he's going to refuse to do the match against Roman, and then Triple H is stuck with nothing once again. They might have to dig out Stone Cold Steve Austin to face off Roman Reigns at fucking Saudi Arabia next year. I just don't like.
So this is what I'm trying to, and I see where Nick's coming from. This is what I'm bringing back to you again. I feel like WWE did the same mistake when they brought back Brock, and they were so reliant on Brock for such a long time. He held the title for 400 some odd days. Cool. Roman did the same thing, 1,300 some odd days. Again, did the same thing. It's like we are fatigued from back to back to back part timers. Right now, I get it. Build up the match, Punk versus Roman. If I'm WWE, do not let Roman win the title.
Look, I get what you're saying. I think I could really be secure on one thing. If that does happen next year, Roman versus Rock, there's going to be a lot of backlash. And the reason why is that I don't have too much faith on The Rock putting up a good show.
No.
He basically so the last time he got to wrestle was in a tag team match where Roman did a lot of the work. I don't see The Rock having a 15-minute match. I think he's going to get gassed out pretty easily. A man hasn't really been on the ring for quite a while. Yes, you could train,
but it's not the same.
It's not the same training when you're actually in the ring. You get more of adrenaline rush. It's more,
especially because you're inside, which is different. It's a different kind of heat over there, dude.
Yeah, but at the same time, dude, this is just an older age. I just don't think he has it to really put up a good match against Roman Reigns at Saudi Arabia Mania next year. So we also got another comment.
2 comments. But Saudi will pay Rock a lot of money.
Sometimes I just don't think. I mean, that motherfucker's getting a lot of money. Yes, he probably will get paid a lot of money. I don't know, but let's read the next one. This one's interesting.
We might see Punk versus Stone Cold.
That's not that one is not out of the possibility because they want Stone Cold to come back for Saudi, and we could see him against Punk. See Punk versus Stone Cold working well in a match in general. I'm not saying that they bump heads. They just, at this point, I think Austin's just too old, man. He's too stiff. Because most of the time, it was Kevin Owens getting his ass whooped because Austin was too stiff to do anything else. And it was a lot of brawling, which is Austin's specialty. I just don't know if that works well anymore. Imagine Gunther retires Rock. Fantasy booking. Yeah, that's funny. that would be something to retire all the legends, including The Rock.
Just imagine he puts a reduced to a pebble.
Yeah, right. The pebble. Any other thoughts, Issue 3?
Honestly, like I said, I feel like we're just getting to that. Unfortunately, I don't want to see it happen, but it's happening. We're getting that We're getting that fatigue from wrestling. Again, it was cool when during WrestleMania 39 and WrestleMania 40. It was there. Well, 39, 40 started kind of coming down if you think about it. Cody won title. It started coming down because it's like we saw the story now get finally completed, and that starts coming down.
But that's the thing. If let's just say this, if I'm not, I don't want to spend too much time on this part because I think we've made our point. But let's just say this: if Cody and Drew face off again, but this time at Mania, and this is the last all be all, and let's say Cody does get his title back, and then what? We get the same old. What do you want to talk about? Hey, I'm your hero. The same old Cody Rhodes, man. The same old waste of time title reign that he has already. We're getting stale of this. But WWE depends on him so you can sell merch and sell to the kids. But here's the difference. There's a man called John Cena that did it better. Yes, we hated him. We booed him, but we got more into the boos.
Yeah.
More crowd interactions. And the guy did sell really a lot of merch. I don't think Cody's on that same level.
No.
Not even close.
The next big match they could do is probably Cody versus Randy and maybe Cody versus Punk.
Cody versus Randy
makes the most sense right now. Right now.
Cody versus Punk next year could make more sense too.
But I would say that right now, Cody versus Randy must be done. Last but not least, Wyatt said Cody needs to turn heel.
Yes. Agreed. Black hair Cody Rhodes for the win.
Literally.
All right, let's go into our pal, Uncle Dave Meltzer. And let's just talk about some stuff. Give me 1 second. So let's just talk about some stuff that he said recently and quote him real quick. Go ahead, SG3, read this out.
I'll go ahead, I got you. So he said the deal is that they didn't want the fans in the arena
to sorry, let me just get some backlash. This is about Brody King and not being there Dynamite on the week when they're going to be in Sydney, Australia, by the way, guys. And the whole issue comes about that Dave Meltzer say that they took out Brody King off of air, WBD, because they didn't want fans chanting, fuck ice. That chant went loud, even gave MJF a really funny reaction on live air. And so put it this way, this is Meltzer following up with that. Go ahead. Sorry.
The deal is that they didn't want the fans in the arena to be chanting that. If Brody came out, there was a risk. There was that risk. When he comes back, it will happen again, Meltzer claimed. I don't know how they're going to handle it. This is good. This is, again, not a Tony call. This is from above Tony Khan. Nobody wants to get on Trump's bad side. If it wasn't for that, nobody would care. It's just a chant. But unfortunately, they've got a company they're trying to sell and get regulatory approval from a guy who's going to take this stuff personally. That's just how it is. No Brody King on the show when he absolutely, of course, Brody King and MJF should have had a segment on the show.
So, do I agree with that? Brody King and MJF should have a segment on the show. 100%. That does make sense. And they didn't have a segment, which was kind of odd because they were leading up to Sydney, Australia. A little odd. So, but eventually, come to find out that WBD went against basically all that Dave Meltzer said and came out with their own response saying basically that is not true. We did not have any saying on this at all and basically denied everything that Dave Meltzer has claimed in this whole incident. So honestly, I don't understand where Meltzer got all this shit from because he is close friends with Tony Khan. Mm-hmm. Tony Khan is like basically a mark and vice versa. But yet, I don't know if this came up his ass or there's some legitimacy where maybe there was some incident backstage. But I mean, what do you guys think? I think it's all bullshit. I think Dave Meltzer went on one of those fantasy rants and just went on some bullshit that he wasn't sure what he was talking about because they did reach out to WBD and they denied every single thing. And that at this point, they also said that we're not allowed for creative control. That is Tony Khan. So, okay, so put it this way. To the point is this. Let's make a point out there. Okay, Saturday, when I was watching the basically rewind of Cindy Australia's Grand Slam, because it was aired a little bit earlier because
Mhm.
of the time difference, but we didn't get it until 7 o'clock our time. So at this point, I did check for the chance it was still there. So because at that point, once again, they chanted "fuck ice, fuck ice." So at this point, the chants are there. They did not bleep it out. So it does seem that WBD does not care on what they say. Well, to a point, they do care, but they do not really care if they say fuck ice on air. They didn't bleep it out, they allowed it. So this kind of proves that Dave Meltzer is kind of wrong here,
Mhm.
that he's getting stuff twisted and he's making stuff up. What do you think overall, issue 3? And by the way, this is not a political channel. We're not going to get political with this stuff. I always feel like wrestling and politics should be
It's not,
separate.
yeah.
Yeah, in
Anything
general.
sports related and
Any
politics.
in general for me, anything. It could be video games, it could be sports, it could be whatever it is. You have to separate the politics and wrestling, and we're not a political channel.
At all.
And if you have your beliefs, great on you. Good for you. But regardless, this is just part of the whole issue going on here. So go ahead, give us your thoughts, issue 3.
God. Here's the thing. I don't know who to believe. And here's my thoughts why. I can see Dave Meltzer bringing out this, just trying to to save himself because of how much stuff he got wrong within the last few years.
But
And
how is this saving himself if
hold
he's
on,
making it up?
I could see that. I can see maybe he went to Tony like, dude, give me something. What happened? Why wasn't Brody King? There's a lead up to the match. Why wasn't MJF or Brody on there? What happened? Well, that's what happened, dude. But then at the same time, I could see where Dave said, you know what? I got to stay relevant. I got to still stay with the crowd. I still got to keep my report. Here it is. I could also see the WBD saying, we didn't tell Tony to not bring them in. However, they were also the ones who said to not bring in Trey Miguel. That's why I'm like, I don't know who to believe.
But that's a whole different ballroom. That's a whole different feel with Trey Miguel's incident and this incident. Trey Miguel's incident, in the end of the day, it's a lot bigger than Brody King's incident. We know how Brody King feels politically. We see shirts that he's selling. That's a whole different ballroom because in the end of the day, if WBD did feel this type of way, they would tell Tony Khan, get rid of this guy. He's selling out merch over here that says "fuck ice." Why do we want him here? If I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I really don't believe that Dave Meltzer is telling the truth because in the end of the day, WBD would have got rid of Brody King a while back because he's been doing this for quite a while.
Or she sent us this letter.
He is best friends with Bandito in real life. They're not just a tag team; they're actual good friends. And the reason why they were built as a tag team because they got great chemistry in backstage, and Tony Khan loved it. So he said, "Hey, I'm building you guys as a tag team." So he has strong opinions of it, and WBD is aware of it. And that being said, I don't think it's WBD. I really do think that Dave Meltzer, there's something, I don't know, man. There's something that Dave Meltzer drinks in the morning before he goes on these dumb thoughts that he has in his head. And whatever he says, he really does
If you
believe.
think about it, there's a lot of wrestling channels now, including ours. Wrestle Talk, you have his, you have Wrestling Observer, you have
You just have a lot of content.
WrestleMania, Sports Kita. You have so much wrestling content out there, and he's like, I still want to be the top dog. So again, I can see Dave come out of his ass and say, bam, this is why they did it. And just no confirmation whatsoever. No source, nothing. Just bam, he said it.
And it's just funny when he has Tony Khan probably in a text or a phone call away.
Honestly, yes. But at this point, it's like, I can see him doing that. So it's like, I have to be still on top.
Yeah.
And you can see there's a lot of times where it has happened. And in sports writing, I've seen it happen. So I can see this also happening the same way. However, I feel like, again, yes, where you're coming from, where they could have done the cease and desist, but at the same time, though, who knew depending on what's been going on? Because again, a shirt says something. Because don't forget, remember Austin's old shirt, Fear Rock or whatever. Is that a fuck fear? It was something else.
Rules.
No. It was
Oh, fuck fear. I don't know.
there was something that
Yeah.
was changed, and it was like you can still tell he's saying "fuck fear." I feel like this could be one of those situations where it's like, this is your own personal stuff, dude. Keep it on because it's you.
But
But I don't know, dude. That's why. And again,
but that's the I get what you're saying, but the whole comparison to Trey Miguel, that what Trey Miguel did was to them was a lot worse image wise. I don't really see WBD really caring about the political point
Mhm.
because, like I said, the man's been selling his merch for like almost a year.
Okay.
I don't think that's what it is because at that point they would just tell Tony Khan, why do you keep pushing this guy? Why do you keep advertising this guy? Brody Keith's been getting a pretty good push. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I get what you're saying, but I really don't see WBD really making a stand against it and then going public. Because if what Meltzer was saying is true, and they don't want any basically what he's saying, this is what he's saying, that they don't want any
Yeah, of
smoke with
course.
Trump, then in that case, WB would never even comment and would just tell I forgot who went out and reached out to them, but basically said, look, no comment. We can't speak about this. But instead, they were willing to talk and say, you know what, that's not true, actually. Tony Khan has all the creative in the world, and that's up to him why he didn't show Brody Keane or MJF that week. We do got a couple of comments, by the way, sir.
Definitely. David Meltzer's band is slowly dying by Nick. I honestly do.
I agree to a point. Sometimes I think for Dave Meltzer, like you said, it's better to stay relevant. So make up shit and basically make up a topic.
Dude, honestly, I feel like at this point, sometimes it's like what they say. You grab shit and you throw it to the wall. And if it sticks, it sticks. And I feel like that's some of his stories.
What is that line of the Dark Knight? You see yourself.
You see yourself either you die a hero or you see yourself long enough to become the villain.
I think Dave Meltzer has become the villain already of the wrestling news world.
Well, he was doing that since WWE with what damn it, what WrestleMania was it? There was WrestleMania where he was just like, dude, where are you coming up with this shit, man?
He was like this since 90s, really. To the 1990s, he was really vocal against WCW and
really vocal against WWE.
Yeah, there was a little more WWE in the late, but I think WCW was first. He just became very vocal. And look, I'm not saying some of the stuff he did get some of the stuff right. I'm not gonna deny he does have probably some sources in there.
I just feel like sometimes this is like, dude, I'm gonna watch the program, cool. I'm gonna just grab all this together and stick it to the wall. If it sticks, I'm still relevant. I'm still Dave Meltzer. I still run the Wrestling Observer. If it doesn't, dang, on to the next one. And I feel like that's what he's doing right now. And that's what he's been doing for the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, when I watch it, throw it, see if it sticks.
Exactly.
Why it says I never believe what Dave Meltzer says. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't believe what he says. And that's the thing. I'm the same way. I don't believe, but it's like, because he's been right on some WWE stuff over the last year.
Sometimes it's one of those things where with Dave Meltzer, I had to wait a day to someone to get his facts checked. Like for either me to do some fucking homework or for someone to, start investigating into Dave Meltzer's reports. And sometimes he gets some stuff right. It's like Rock not being there at WrestleMania 42. And I know he's gotten some other stuff right, but sometimes it's like, you have to fact check this yourself because he's been wrong a lot of times. So overall, man, I don't know, man. Dave Meltzer's not going anywhere. He's going to keep spewing out comments, and I guess it's just one of his ways to stay relevant.
And last but not least, he uses the Vince Russo approach to stay relevant, minus the bro.
Nah, I mean, at some point he's going to use bro. Probably in the end of the sentence, bro.
Like Vince.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I agree with that. He just uses that holding to stay relevant. In the end of the day, if he has some crash out statements and stuff like this, some ideas, it works. People get to talking, people get to mentioning his name more and get his stuff trending.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, that's what he wants. Because if you had a news report that was basically down to the line, honest, very well opinionated, he'll be lost in the sauce.
It would be.
And he would not be relevant to this day. So this is a good way for him to stay relevant and just keep getting trending out there in the wrestling world. So we got a couple of news, and that is this. Oh, by the way, also, he was the one that tweeted out Royce Keys' fake age or something. I don't know if even that came out to be true exactly.
Actually, dude, it is. Royce Keys is 41.
So in the end of the day, who gives a shit? Like, even if that's the case, who cares?
Supposedly, he lies to WWE about his age.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, so does the boogeyman. A lot older than they expected. I think he lied about 30, being 30 something, early 30s, and ended up being 42.
Okay.
So he was a lot older. And then not only that, but where the hell's Royce Keys been? He's been wrestling dark matches. So you have the man debuted at the Rumble just for him to go week by week at dark matches.
That's cool.
That's creative for you. So look, we got some other news real quick. Bianca Belair.
She said she's not gonna be for wrestling. We're so sorry.
Well, she had surgery and she's not going to make it to Mania. Looks like she had surgery for her finger, so she looks like she's actually going to miss this year's Mania, so she's not going to be there. Let's hope for a fast recovery because that whole injury with her, I think it was her like fingers,
her fingers
was nasty and it looked bad. And they're saying that they haven't seen something like this in quite a while, doctors. And I mean, I'm sure she was itching to get back into the ring soon, and it's been already a year almost.
It has been a year.
Well, it was at a Mania, so yeah, almost a year. Regardless, it probably looks like she's gonna miss it. Speedy recovery. Hope for her for the best, and hope to see her soon in the future, healthy though.
Yeah.
We also have a report out there that says Kofi Kingston is out of with the shoulder injury too.
Damn.
About that. He must have wrestled a dark match and probably got it popped somewhere. So he's probably gonna be out for quite a bit. So we're probably gonna have the tag team of Xavier Woods and
Grayson Waller.
Yeah, but it's like I don't see them on TV. So I mean, I guess they wrestle a bunch of dark matches. So I guess it's not too bad. I guess Grayson Waller and Xavier Woods is gonna fill it in for the New Day. Injury bug is getting everyone. Yeah, honestly, it is. But that just happens.
That's why I said we're going back to the injury ridden year 2019.
Yeah, but I mean, injuries are always going to be there. It's just, man, it's a really contact sport, whether people like to give it credit or not for being that way. It really is. Very acrobatic now, too, on top of it. So it doesn't help wrestlers at all today. But hey, hopefully, speedy recovery for those guys, you know? Y'all see Bianca's fingers? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Look, with the surgery, I just hope things get better.
I hope so too.
Yeah. All right, let's get into SG3 segment. All right, SG3, what you want to talk about, man? What's on your mind?
So I want to talk about something that that was kind of brought up to my attention. I was looking at social media, and it's funny we're talking about Dave Meltzer. He gave the 2025 Wrestling Observer Awards, and here they go. Y'all let me know if y'all agree, don't agree. Look,
let's give a thumbs up and down. How about that?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay. And in the chat, if you guys want to join the thumbs up, point up, down. Give us a reason if you want, or just don't give us your reason. Doesn't matter.
You can't even do a thumbs up, thumbs down, a Y or a net.
Give us the Batistas.
Okay. For Wrestler of the Year, Mystico.
Wrestler of the Year, Mystico?
Yes.
I'll give it a thumbs up. Why not?
I like it.
I like Mystico. I really do.
Women's MVP of the Year.
Ooh.
Saya Kamitani.
Don't really know much of her wrestling. I heard of her. Damn, man. Can we give it thumbs in them? I'm gonna give it thumbs down. I'm sorry.
Go here.
Because it's not recognizable. And I get it. Dave Meltzer is one of those like Indies, Japan, and every other promotion because he watches a lot. But I just don't agree with it. In the end of the day, it has to have a big name value. Popularity counts too, in my opinion. Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs down because I'm not gonna give it thumbs middle. It's either up and down. So down for now. All right. So far,
agree was one Mystico, Saya down.
All right.
Tag team of the year, the Young Bucks.
Tag team of the year, the Young Bucks. What have they besides the Broke Buck gimmick? Man, that's hard.
I thought they did Broke Buck in 2024. This is 2025.
No, they still continue it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, they did Broke Bucks in 2025. So regardless, I wouldn't say they're tag team of the year. If we're going to AEW side, I would think it was more Brody King and Bandito, but I felt like they got more over, got more usage too.
Don't forget also those are his
I
close
feel like
friends.
I was gonna feel, I feel like because they're close friends at the Young Bucks, they have to give it to them every single fucking year. Hell, I could even give it to some WWE tag team. Let's see. If we give it to a WWE tag team, who would that be? We can't say the Usos, so they just barely came back
Who
together.
can you say?
That's hard to say, but I think it was Bandito and
Brody King, I'll give that one more.
yeah, I think they were used a lot more. They were more popular and they were a lot over with the crowd. I don't see the Young Bucks getting that over. Hell, FDR was a lot over too.
Yeah.
So thumbs down. Alrighty, next one.
Rookie of the year, Siri Yamaoka.
Another New Japan wrestler. Not well universal known. I really don't know who he is. I'll be real. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. Sorry. And he might be a good wrestler. We might hear his name come up in a couple of years. In that case, I'll put my thumbs up if I was wrong. I'll admit it.
Probably would put Kyle Fletcher. Best non-wrestler of the year, Don Callis.
Well, look, I like Don Callis. I like Don Callis's gimmick. I think Don Callis is funny. But shit, dude. That means Don Callis beat Paul Heyman.
I know that's what I was about to say.
That's fucking look. I guess he's his equivalent, I guess, in AEW side. But I still feel like he's a light version of Paul Heyman. Look, I think Don Callis on the mic is good. But I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. I'm sorry. Paul Heyman took it this year. I really did. I think everything that Paul Heyman did was a lot more interacted, a lot better than Don Callis did the whole year.
And so far, Wyatt's agree with us on every single thing.
And he has his thumbs down mostly like us.
Match of the year, Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty.
Well, that was a good one. Match of the year. Would I say that's match of the year? That was a really good one, dude. And it was nice to see Kenny come back. You know what? I'm gonna just give it to him because we need some thumbs up, and I'll just give him that one. You know, we could argue there was a lot better matches of the years.
We could agree on this one,
but
though.
Kenny Omega was a pretty good match with him. With Gabe Kidd.
Worst match of the year, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at WrestleMania 41. I agree. I'm not even gonna anything else.
I mean, if we're talking about so hype yet so let down. You know what? I'll just agree because it was a letdown. It was a big letdown.
Wyatt didn't even wait. He was like the moment I said it.
There's a lot more worse than that, but it was a big letdown in the end because it was more anticipation built for that. It was the biggest match of the year, supposed to be. So yeah, why not? I really do think it a little bit. It could be Cena versus Orton because I don't even think that was a good match either. But I think Cody and Cena was a big letdown. Sorry, go ahead.
Most outstanding wrestler of the year, Takeshita.
Oh hell yeah! Thumbs up. Takeshia's one of the best in my opinion. Young, and I think he should be a future world champion pretty soon. And I think he should have his feud set up with Okada already by now. But that's just me. Takeshita, thumbs up.
Most underrated wrestler of the year, the Beast Mordos.
Why though? I mean, I like the Beast Mordos. I mean, he's used a lot. Yes, he's used a lot, but also because I feel like he's dating Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say he's underrated. There's a lot more wrestlers that are underrated, man, even on both sides. And this is mostly AEW stars.
Well, listen to this one.
Yeah.
Most overrated wrestler. Most overrated wrestler of the year. Main event Jey Uso.
Most overrated wrestler of the year, main event Jey Uso, the Yeet Man. I have to agree. I'm sorry, but the man is overrated. I liked his whole storyline in the beginning of the year, but it just got very stale so fast. So no Yeet it is, like Riot says. So I agree with Meltzer on this one. Surprise. All right, let's go.
Gimmick of the year, Timeless Tony Storm. I agree with it.
I think there was a lot better gimmicks out there. I like Timeless Tony Storm. but I feel like he's just not paying. He's not really looking. I just feel like he's just giving it to his
Friends.
friends and wrestlers that he likes. So yeah, I'm just gonna give it a thumbs up just because I do think she has a good gimmick.
Listen to this one. Worst gimmick of the year. Last real champion, John Cena.
Worst gimmick of the year.
Yep.
Yeah, because that whole run was so hype and yet much of a letdown.
It's because he wasn't there a long time. That's why.
That and it's just like the feuds weren't right there anymore. I mean, to him, the feud with Randy Orton was stale. The only time he actually had a good, decent feud was against Punk when he was a heel. Otherwise, everything else was stale. So I agree.
Most improved wrestler of the year, Harley Cameron.
I don't know. I like Harley Cameron.
How else you put Dom here?
Dom's been pretty good though. I just don't think Harley Cameron should be there. Dom has been pretty improved for so long.
And he just keeps improving year after year.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that most improved. That's more like let's say Maxine actually got good, but Maxine wasn't good though. Either way, she's still not. I disagree with Harley Cameron. I think there's a lot more wrestlers that improved overall. So I'm gonna just disagree.
Next is Carmelo. I agree with that one.
Well, compared to Carmelo where he was at in the beginning of the year, I don't. As far as wrestling skills, Carmelo always had it. But as far as like what position he was, yeah, a lot better. Also Fletcher. Oh, okay, Fletcher. Well, yeah, compared to where he was at, he was the shadow of basically Will Ospreay. Because basically he was kind of like a mini Will Ospreay. And then when he cut his hair, he set himself apart and he exploded to the scene. And so I could also say that's the most improved wrestler. So it could be Carmelo, it could be Fletcher. Harley Cameron is great. I love Harley. I think she's hilarious. I think she would do well even outside of wrestling. But I would not call her, most improved. So I would put my thumbs down on that.
Brawler of the year. Brawler of the year.
I was gonna say Broly, like some Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z, man, I'm a fan. Brawler of the year, John Moxley.
Wait, is this an actual title that he had there for like years, or is this something he just came up for?
I don't know, dude.
I'm
just reading this.
I need something for John Moxley. My other guys in AEW, so yeah, let's put Brawler of the Year. I think there was a lot more brawlers. Hell, even Punk could have been categorized as a brawler at this point. Fucking Drew McIntyre.
I put a thumbs down there.
There's so many other wrestlers out there that could be considered a brawler. It just seems a dumb award. So yeah, thumbs down.
Technical wrestler of the year, Zack Sabre Jr.
He's pretty good, but who we had technically really sound technical wrestler in WWE that could compete with them? Anyone in WWE that we could compete technical that obviously wrestled last year?
Who was there, but he wasn't there for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of things are stale right now, so I don't know, man. I just
if it wasn't for the injury, Chad Gable or Grande Americano.
Grande Americano could have been,
or Chad Gable.
You know what? I'll just I'll give it a thumbs up. Just because, like I said, I like the guy. Just I don't really. Well, Gunther, it could be Gunther. I could give Gunther that.
What's that?
I'll just give a thumbs up. If you guys want to give a thumbs down, that's cool. I don't disagree with that. All right, well, you guys, it's cool. I understand that one. I'm not going to argue.
High Flyer of the Year, Máscara Dorada.
High Flyer of the Year? I don't know. Nah, just don't see that happening. High Flyer of the Year, you had so many fucking great luchadors, and you're going to go with... I disagree. Hell, I could even say Penta's a lot better. Yeah. But Penta's more in a popular category.
United States, Canada MVP of the Year.
What the fuck is this award? Repeat that.
United States and or Canada.
Or Canada?
Yeah.
Why just Canada? What we just
United States / Canada MVP of the Year.
The maple fucking country, huh? Who is this shit?
John Moxley.
Fucking shit. John did a lot of stuff this year.
No, I don't go with it. I'm sorry, I
but
don't.
it's not. He's not the wrestler of the year. So you could even gave it to Seth Rollins.
You could have.
Despite the injury, it could have been Seth Rollins. It would have made a lot better sense. Ethan Page, I agree. Ethan Page was great. Look, is this category just for fucking men too?
I don't know, dude.
It
just
could
literally
have been
says,
Chelsea Green.
says United States Canada MVP of the year.
Chelsea Green fits that category perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was the United States champion and also Canadian, for God's sake. I give it to Chelsea Green. So thumbs down on Moxley, dude. I like Moxley. I just hell no. What else we got? My God, man, this shit's pissing me off. All right, go.
Mexico MVP of the year, Mystico.
I like Mystico. I think the guy's talented. I think the guy's great. I'm just gonna go thumbs up on Mystico.
Okay. Europe MVP of the year, Michael Oku.
I don't fucking know who that is. So, I don't know, man. You know what?
Again, why not Gunther? Why not fucking Gunther?
Well, read the category again then.
Europe MVP of the year.
I guess Gunther. Wait, where's Gunther from?
He's from Austria. That's fucking in Europe. That's in Europe.
At that point, you could give it to Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser.
The Grande, his Grande.
Ilja, Dragunov, whatever. Him too.
Well, Ilja was injured most of the 2025. Yeah, he was injured most of 2025. So it's kind of hard to give Ilja.
He came halfway through the season, dude. He came halfway through.
He did not come to halfway through. He came in October. That's not happening.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so I don't give Ilja. I could give him for this year if he lasts that long, but I could give it to Ludwig. I think he's done a lot of great work with the whole Grande Americano gimmick, and he speaks Spanish.
Hey, dude, he's fantastic. Spanish,
it's funny as hell. So yeah, I don't know. I give it to Ludwig if that's the case. If we're not gonna give it to Gunther, I'll give it to Ludwig.
Most charismatic wrestler of the year, John Cena.
I mean, most charismatic. I'll give it to Drew McIntyre. Because look, John Cena is like a safety blanket.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, I mean, yeah, he did sell merch.
Oh, hey, yeah.
You could even give it to LA Knight. Look, Cena just seems like a safety blanket. I feel like he put no thought on that. So I'm going to give it a thumbs down on no thought. It could have been anybody. It could have been LA Knight. It could have been, if we went to AEW side, it could have been MJF. It could have been easy on anybody. I felt like he gave no thoughts and just gave him an award. It's like, well, I got too much AEW guys winning these awards, so I got to give some fucking WWE guys an award or so. Also, just give it to Cena.
Move of the year, Hangman Page's Buckshot Lariat.
That's move of the year.
I don't. It literally says move of the year, Hangman Page.
You could have gave the Mexican Destroyer. Pizza.
Yes.
You could have gave, I don't know, Dominic Mysterio's Frog Splash. You could have gave
Soul Ruka Soul Snatcher.
That was probably the perfect spot. See, that's the thing. He categorizes mostly for men.
OG Cutter.
The OG Cutter, yeah. I mean, granted, it came out more half of the year that got popular, but that's still a better move. Soul Snatcher, I think, is probably top notch, in my opinion. I don't know what this man gets his fucking ideas from. There's so much. Oh, fuck. Let's go.
Feud of the year, Hangman Page versus John Moxley.
Was that really feud of the year, you think?
I don't know.
I thought it was a good look. I thought it was a good ending to the whole. I don't know. I'm a little torn about this one. I thought it was good for basically the Death Riders ending, which they didn't. They're still continuing. But compared to all the crap we got this year of 2025, it's hard to say because we didn't really get too much good feuds anywhere. So I'll just give it a thumbs up. Why not?
Worst feud of the year, Max Caster versus Anthony Bowens. Oh, it's a miracle he didn't put a WWE guy in here.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that shit was bad because it led to nowhere really.
Okay.
And like I said, it's like everything that AEW does, they stall and they go nowhere. So thumbs up. I really did want to see the Acclaim back, and that didn't really happen. So yeah, thumbs up.
Show of the year, all in Texas.
You know what?
Yeah, I can see it.
That was a good card. I like it. We got a comment by the way.
Nick said Jay Uso versus Gunther was bad.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? All In was really good. I'll give it a thumbs up on that.
Nick says WWE SummerSlam. Ooh.
That was a good one too. I like that SummerSlam card. If you guys want to give that one instead, I no argument. Really wasn't.
Worst show of the year, WrestlePalooza. Yeah.
2 thumbs up. That was horrible.
Promotion of the year, CMLL.
You know what? I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. The reason why is because they done some good stuff and they broke a lot of gate records.
Yeah,
In Mexico in the same arena, and it is a pretty solid promotion overall, and it's really popular in Mexico. It's probably the #1 promotion out there. So yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up because they are probably promotion of the year in this shitty year that we had, 2025.
Here comes the funny ones.
Okay.
Worst promotion of the year, WWE.
Yeah, this is debatable. It's strongly on your own opinion. It's between AEW, WWE. I don't really categorize TNA because it wasn't that bad before they went to AMC. I thought it was pretty good. So subjective. What do you think? Give your thoughts. Would you agree with that?
They both had a bad year. I could say both companies.
But if you had to pick one,
I'll probably go WWE. AEW put out more memorable ones.
AEW puts better matches. WWE does not put out as good matches in AEW, in my opinion. So we got a couple of thumbs down. You know what? I'm gonna just agree. Go with WWE. Feel differently. I think this is just subjective. I kind of think this is a dumb category in the end. Because
no, this was dumber.
All right, put it this. The reason I think it's a dumb category is you're kind of trying to bash.
Dude, he's doing it to bash WWE so people can watch AEW. That's what the fuck he's doing. And he does this shit every year.
But it doesn't work. In the end of the day,
he still wants to do it.
Anyways, go on. Yeah.
Best announcer of the year, Bryan Danielson.
What?
That's why I said there's one that's coming up that's dumber.
I like his commentary, but I don't think he's the best announcer, right? There's so much.
They literally, dude, best announcer of the year, Bryan Danielson.
You know what? I disagree. There's so many better. I would say I would probably put Corey Graves.
I was going to say Corey Graves.
Booker T's decent. I don't think.
Well,
wait before you start reacting. So
no, I'm reacting to you.
Yeah, I know. I also would put fuck, man. I mean, JR doesn't commentary. That's the issue. You can't put JR.
So but give me a second. Commentary. It's actually commentary. He just puts it as an announcer.
Wait, he puts announcer?
Yeah, but it's commentary.
So Bryan Danielson is a fucking announcer according to his books. I know what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Guy's a fucking moron. But I get what he's trying to say. Nick says Michael Cole. Look, a long time I kind of would agree with Michael Cole. I don't find him appealing anymore as an announcer like I used to.
Couple of them said ring announcer, or commentator.
Why am I drawing a blank here? WCW guy.
Tony Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone is a lot better commentator. I think Tony Schiavone is a better commentator. He's one of our best right now in our era.
One more, but he's getting more people to watch WWE. So Dave Meltzer is getting more people to watch WWE. Now, so people all agree. Would that not make sense? The fact that he chose Bryan Danielson as commentator of the year.
I like Bryan Danielson. I just don't think he's the best commentator. I think he's the
worst announcer of the year,
which would be commentary.
Booker T.
Sucker. Nah, I don't think he's worse. I think there's a lot worse, dude. I think Pat McAfee's a lot worse. I don't like Pat McAfee's commentary. I feel like he tries to go over the top, and yet he runs out of gas towards the end.
Yeah, he does.
I like him to be there as a third guy. But to be the second guy, I don't agree with. So I don't think Booker T is bad. I saw the tweet. I saw this tweet. So I did see a tweet out there. Let me read this real quick. I had this saved in my notes because that fell into that. I saw NJF coming to the defense of Booker T and said he hashtag Booker T. In a lot of ways, it's a blueprint to me. A complete homegrown top guy with massive drawing power on Warner TV without having have work for McMahon. If you did like what he does in the booth, that's fine. But you guys talk crazy on legends. Show some respect. He's earned it. I don't think Booker T is a bad announcer. I don't think he's the best.
Who's the guy that does Raw right now? Testator. Man, some things he does.
Testator doesn't do Raw. It's SmackDown. Bro.
Thank you. That's the one. Thank you.
Testator, I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's great either, dude. I think there's a lot worse. I think what's his name? The guy with the mask in AEW. Why am I drawing
Excalibur?
Excalibur, I don't think he's that great either. I think Taz is still decent. I'm not saying these commentators are a lot better, but I think they're still mid. I think, Excalibur is bad. I think Excalibur is not great. I think Pat McAfee's not great. They're great as the third guy, which Excalibur is the second guy, but he really should be a third guy. So yeah, I disagree, dude. I don't know what the fuck. So thumbs down.
Actually, and then Nick says, I actually take two things from Nick. Oh, firstly, Wyatt says, oh yeah, man. And I don't see many bad commentators in WWE. Actually, take my pick back. Instead of Michael, I'll say Wade Barrett.
I think Wade Barrett's a lot better. There we go. Wade Barrett's a lot better. I think it's one of the best. I don't think WWE has bad commentators, but I also don't think they're the best. I think Wade Barrett and Corey Graves stand out better. I think Michael Cole's best years are behind them.
I think so too.
Yeah, but he's up there in age. So what do you expect? It's nothing against Michael Cole. He's just up there in age.
Best weekly show of the year. Dynamite.
Oh, yeah, of course. This is subjective. For Dave Meltzer, just because of his friends. So obviously there's some bias in there. That's up to you guys. What do you guys enjoy weekly? Do you guys enjoy
Raw,
whatever
SmackDown,
you watch?
NXT.
There's so much, dude. NXT,
TNA.
Raw, TNA, Dynamite. You might watch some other stuff like Glow Wrestling. I think that's still on. There's a lot of independent shows out there. It's not just one, so it's subjective. I don't think you really could rate it. We got thumbs down, NXT, and
Nick says Raw.
I'm Raw. Hey, whatever you guys like. I personally, I watch a lot of Raw, obviously, because we have to do the review, but I do enjoy Dynamite's wrestling. So I agree on my own terms that I like Dynamite just because of the wrestling better. Storyline's not there. Look, it's subjective. At the end of the day, it's your preference. Doesn't really make sense for an award.
Worst weekly show of the year. NXT.
Why?
I don't know.
Worst weekly show? I would have gave that to SmackDown. That was bad last year. But yet he gives it to NXT that has a decent show. I'm not saying it's the best show. They had some high points, especially when they brought out TNA against NXT. They had some really good bangers of matches. But you fucking bring NXT. It should have been SmackDown.
So couple of comments. At one point I would have said SmackDown, but not anymore.
Okay, so yeah, that's the worst.
No, that's not worse. That's still for best. Now two. Wyatt disagrees and then says, okay, what? Like how could Dave Meltzer say that NXT was the worst promotion of the year?
But that's
worst weekly show. Sorry, worst weekly show of the year.
I don't think NXT is that bad. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but even when I watch it, I get really entertained. I think SmackDown's bad. I think
Nick said, sorry to cut you off. Nick said, yeah, SmackDown sucked. They also have more time to fill with little roster. That's where we got no competition for Jade Cargill and MFT's feuding with Wyatt's forever. SmackDown sucks.
Or look, if that's the case too, I forgot because this show gets fucking forgotten now. I used to watch it a lot. Now I don't watch it as much. Collusion. It's not a great show. Look, wrestling, yes, it's great on Collusion, but there's no storyline. Some of the stuff doesn't make sense. It gets forgotten pretty quick. I think that could be categorized as the worst show too. So it's a between SmackDown and Collusion. I think this guy's fucking nuts sometimes.
Booker of the year. Who do you think is going to be?
Tony Khan.
Yep.
Subjective. I do personally think Tony Khan is Booker of the Year. I don't give it to Triple H. I think he fumbled. The reason why I don't give it to Triple H is he fumbled John Cena's.
Retirement tour.
He fumbled Goldberg's in a way. They build it up a little bit better? Yes. But he also fumbled his.
For
He-
7 months, man. Come on.
He's also fumbled so many. He's just like so many things this year. He fumbled storyline. We never really got a really good storyline throughout the whole year. So yeah, I think Tony Khan did a little bit better. If you like TNA, I think TNA did a lot better work this year as well. If you like NXT, you can say Shawn Michaels did a lot better. So it's
Oh, that's my
subjective.
boy, man. Shawn Michaels.
Subjective to whatever you guys prefer. So I would say agreed on. Just because, like I said, I like Dynamite last year a little bit better.
Promoter of the year, Salvador Luderoth.
That's an interesting name. I have to Google that. What do you think was promoter of the year?
Definitely TKO. Damn, what the hell does WWE have to promote? William Regal?
I think promoter of the year is more just like Tony Khan and people like that. I don't know who that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably from MLW. Sorry,
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna give it a thumbs down.
I'll go. Same thing. Most disgusting promotional tactic of the year. This is the last category. Most disgusting promotional tactic of the year. WWE brings back Brock Lesnar after Janelle Grant allegations.
This is another fucking award that he just made up last second. Is that really the worst thing? I don't know. I disagree. I just feel like you made this award up to piss off more people from WWE's side of things. I think there was a lot worse stuff. There was a lot worse John Moxley matches that we got last year than this.
Well, I guess it wasn't. I guess it's not the match, it's just the fact of what happened, and they bring him back.
I saw what happened in some of his fucking matches, and I think that shit is disgusting. A lot more disgusting than this stuff.
The fish tank spot.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking right now. The fish tank spot. That was fucking disgusting to watch on PLE. Thank God it was on PLE.
Wyatt said, "Oh my God."
There's so much other shit that was worse. Even if you're going to WWE side, there's a lot of shit that was worse than that. I don't know, man. That man's crazy, dude. I feel like he made that award up last minute to.
He just likes to ride Tony Khan's nuts.
Well, Tony Khan probably pays him a big check. You know, who knows? Who knows? I'm not putting that out
speculation,
there.
But
It could be. Yeah, the fish tank spot. Yeah. I think that was probably the worst spot of the year. Most sick spot. I get the whole Janelle Grant issue, but Brock didn't do anything that day to really make things disgusting, so it doesn't really make any sense. I guess the whole lead up to it, but it just doesn't make any sense. Look, overall, your thoughts on this whole awards, man? I thought shit was awful.
It was terrible, dude. Again, he just wants to just suck Tony Khan's nuts. That's all he does.
I mean,
sorry for the way I'm saying it, but it's the truth, man. He just wants to just literally coddle Tony Khan and just say, you know what, Tony, you get all the awards because we're gonna go ahead and make you the promotion of the year so that people can watch you because I'm so relevant. That's what he does it for.
Yeah, I just don't think I agree with any other stuff. I
agree with some stuff.
Yeah.
But could I sit here and say the fact that they carry weight now? No. Because you can tell that you're so fucking biased. It's not even funny anymore, dude. You just don't want to just say, you know what? I'm a biased guy, and I'm going to give all the best spots to AEW, sprinkle some AEW bad spots, but all the bad and worst spots to WWE because I want you guys to watch my friends.
Well, it's always been biased for the last couple of years since, AEW has been in business. So, yeah, I can see that. Tony Khan and Dave Meltzer are friends, and obviously,
he's friends with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, all those guys. Dude.
Well, yeah, they go way back. I mean, the Young Bucks even did the whole Meltzer moveset thing. So yeah, it's goes way back. I'm not surprised. A lot of things I could agree with them if he stated some facts. A lot of it just seems like he just came up his ass and just says, "Oh well, I had to do this, I had to do that."
If it was facts, I get it, but I feel like a lot of things was just biased. That's all it was.
Well, it's always biased with them.
Yeah.
Couple of comments.
Worst wrestling analyst of the year, Dave Meltzer. Because this is so fucking bad, it makes me want to puke. Freaking Lions.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, man. It's just, I mean, I don't know what to say about it. The less you say, the better. It's something to laugh at because at the end of the day, it's just hilarious the shit that he came up. I didn't read most of these awards, so
I read them and I was like, how do you come up with some of the shit you're coming up with?
I feel like at the time he's like, you know what pissed me off with WWE? I'm just gonna put this category for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, obviously I just feel like a lot of stuff he made up, and obviously a lot of people don't agree with it, and because he had a lot of backlash also with this. He's been on, man, he had a good week last week.
Yeah.
Had a really good week. Yeah. So I mean, the man loves it. The man loves his attention. So
actually,
hey, Dave. I mean, the more publicity you get, it's not
Better.
always, you know, it's always a good thing.
Creates cash.
So hey, you have the formula. So hey, good for you. Alrighty, guys. Look, for joining us tonight. Appreciate all the comments, all the likes out there. Like, subscribe.
Put the notification on so that you guys know when we're going to go live. We'll be back next Monday after Raw. We can't wait to see you guys also on the 28th of February. Be sure to catch us here on WCS. Make sure that so we can do the live stream for Elimination Chamber. Y'all have yourself a
yeah. Dig it.